Hello everybody, here we are again for another video today talking about Alex Galchenyuk and whether or not his NHL career is over. Now, before we start, please make sure to subscribe if you're new. That being said, let's get on into it. So I was going to wait until today, which I ended up doing because I really didn't exactly know where the story was going to go because you don't really know the details of everything at the moment. So I waited today just in case anything was really bad out of this. But anyway, it seems like for the most part it wasn't crazy, but we're going to talk about a few things before that and then what happened during the event and then kind of where I think his career is headed. So Alex Galchenyuk is a top pick, or at least a top 3 pick from the 2012 draft, and is a guy that a lot of people have known about for a while, considering, he was a pretty good player, at least a pretty decent player, in the earlier stages of his career. And then, of course, is a guy that famously is known for being on a lot of teams at this point in his career. But he did sign a 1-year deal with the Arizona Coyotes going into free agency, or just after free agency started, and was going to be back with the team for a 3rd stint after playing with the Colorado Avalanche last season. 11 games played, averaged something like 7 minutes per game, so nothing crazy there. So then what happened here to why they terminated his contract? Well, I'm sure you've all heard by now. He basically was involved in a hit and run, and a bunch of stuff happened afterwards. I don't think we're getting the whole story just yet, or at least it's not being painted the way that I want to talk about it in case some things are wrong. But from what we do know, it seems like he hit something and it was, private property damage, and then tried to leave, and then basically was arrested, supposedly resisted arrest, etc. there. I guess the good news is nobody got hurt, so that's kind of what I was thinking. Oh my gosh, this could be such a big deal that I want to wait until tomorrow to talk about it. But for the most part, it does seem like, as wild as it sounds, it was tame because A, nobody got hurt, and then B, he might already be out. I'm guessing he posted bail. I don't exactly know how that works myself because I've never been arrested, so I guess that's a good thing there. What exactly does that mean for his future? Well, obviously, from the get-go, it's pretty obvious that, things are not looking good in the sense that the Arizona Coyotes terminated his contract. Can he get another chance? I think this really comes down to what teams want him, because you have a guy that is about to be 30 and is a player that is signing for the Coyotes on a 1-year deal after being a former 3rd overall pick. Something's up. You wouldn't see a guy that should be hitting the prime of his career and see him kind of on one of the bottom feeders in the league. And at this point, you could say that he really hasn't done a lot in recent years. I think the biggest thing that we can talk about now is the fact that 2015-16 season, somewhere around there, that he had with Montreal, 30 goals, 56 points, everything looked like it could be on the up and up for him. That is gone and past, and while I will put up some stats of kind of the peak of his career, if you will, in like a 4-year stretch, he had basically over 0.6 points per game. That was about as good as it gets. And then in the past 2 or 3 years, things have not really looked so rosy for him, as he struggled to get opportunities and is kind of seen as a guy that is shifted. Now, a few years ago, people viewed him as maybe more of a project. If we can get in the right situation and we can develop him, we really could have somebody on our hands that could be a good player for our team going forward. But I will say at this point, it does seem like a guy that a lot of teams understand, or at least think he's probably not going to be part of our long-term future. And I am going to say that as of right now, while his career isn't over at the NHL level, it was already on thin ice, considering that he wasn't getting a lot of opportunities on, multiple teams. So I do think that as of right now, he hasn't played his last NHL game as of yet. But in general, I don't see him being a guy that is going to be playing a full 80-some games, and I don't really see him having a career resurgence to where he gets a 45, 50-point season in the upcoming future. And it really is a shame about what his career has turned into, because after that 2015-16 season, where he was younger, almost hitting 60 points for the Habs, you're thinking maybe this is a guy that really could be the part of a team, I guess you could say, for the future. And instead, now here he is at almost 30 years old. He's still only 29, I guess you could say, where he should be again at his peak. And now we could be seeing him not play an NHL game in the future. What are your thoughts? So who do you think would sign him? Do you think that this is his last NHL game? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. And obviously, I'm glad nobody got hurt in the hit and run incident. But anyway, everybody, please make sure to like this video if you found it informational. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody, stay safe. Have a great night. You love hockey, all right. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.